Let's start the show.
Tell them why should people join us on May 15th? It was just a father. He mistaked me for somebody who was live. More than many murders, LA's a warfare. We keep war shit. Streets keep souls, young brothers lose control. I seem to maintain through this. Watch when you kick it, they'll put you in a twist. And it ain't nobody like my down Tony and the police always trying to pin some bullshit though. I keep away from fools, they do crime in the track. Cops got guns and cuffs and sales and stuff you in. You might get shot. trying to see there was some issue that I did not do. You know who? The boys in blue. There they go with their assumptions, slavery's over. Let us have something. Why you wanna pull me over? Cause I'm bumping? I just made a new song. My profession is music, your profession is protection with gas. Then use it on him when he's trying to take my life away. I'm just trying to live my life today. So I keep away from fools, they do crime and attract cops. Cops got guns and cuffs and sales and stuff you with. You might get shot. I shot the sheriff. I didn't shoot the deputy. I didn't have to, cause in this gang, they always trying to blast you and leave it to the cops to find out who did the murder. They harassed the wrong clan and arrest the wrong man. The homie they all got the gun, but that's okay, cause I'ma work for life so he can see another day. A homie's a homie, a fake is a snake. Straight game from the pen, from the homie Jake. So I keep away from fools, they do crime and attract cops. Cops got guns and cuffs and sell the stuff we with. You might get shot. You might get shot. You might get shot.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy Carlos Cabral, and we are back with another live. Fuck me. Fuck me. So yesterday, the internet was broken. Everybody was in their mother was covering it. From CNN to NBC to ABC to BET. Of course, BET is the hip hop community. News Nation, to the hip hop streets in YouTube, the dirty sector, the B sector. Everybody in their mother was covering this story. Now, there's new evidence in the Troy Lane case. Yesterday, like around 1 p.m., Kelsey Harris' bodyguard, or former bodyguard, came to the media, and this was 4 days after Troy Lanez was stabbed. They treated his wounds. He went back to his prison cell. 4 days later, after the stabbing, after the situation where Troy Lanez went back to his cell, Kelsey Harris' former bodyguard came to the press and told the world that Kelsey Harris was the one that shot Megan Thee Stallion. Alex Shapiro, who is now the lawyer of all of Rockefeller, aka Rock Nation, responded because Alex Shapiro was the prosecutor of the Troy Lanez case. That was his final case before he got hired as the lawyer / shooter for Jay-Z. So Alex Shapiro responded immediately because that was his case. He said, I convicted Troy Lanez. We convicted him. He a waste of my time. So, there's now new evidence, allegedly. Because I'm gonna say allegedly, because we don't know if the courts are gonna overturn the case. But there's now new evidence that they're saying that Kelsey Harris shot Megan Thee Stallion. Listen, I'm not the governor of California, and I'm not the lead of the law in the state of California. But if I was in charge of law enforcement and the criminal justice system in California, I will order a DNA blood work. So today's topic is, who the fuck shot Megan Thee Stallion? Is it Troy Lenz or is it Kelsey Harris? This shit is crazy. This shit is crazy. So now there's a lot of people are already cutting ties with Megan Thee Stallion because a lot of people are saying that that are cutting ties with Megan Thee Stallion, that you know, that she lied about the shooting, this and that. That's the problem. A lot of you people in the internet are jumping to conclusions. Here's my take on this. We don't know who shot Megan Thee Stallion. We don't know. We have to get a blood sample. We have to get a blood test. It's that simple. Simple as 1, 2, 3. And let's be real here. We don't know who shot Megan Thee Stallion. But let's get a blood sample. Let's get blood work done. Let's get blood work on both Trey Lanez and Kelsey Harris. It's obvious one of these two individuals. Let me get this off. Give me a second. It is obvious one of the two individuals that I mentioned is the one that pulled the trigger. So I'm gonna play the entire video from what's Trey Lanez's lawyer team? Unite the People. Whatever the fuck.
I think CSU's
So we're going to play this whole we're going to play this entire press conference in its entirely, and And I'm gonna tell you my honest opinion. All right, guys. This must be the new body. This must be the bodyguard that they're talking about.
First off, my name is Caesar McDowell. I am the CEO and co-founder of Unite the People. We're a nonprofit organization that promotes social justice as well as provides affordable legal services.
Okay, they're representing Troy Lanez. These are the lawyers that are representing Troy Lanez. Let's continue.
The underserved community here in the state of California. Today, we want to thank everybody for coming out, all of the press, all of the fans, everyone that's here today. We want to say thank you for coming. Today, we're going to hear some really, really compelling new evidence that you've never heard before. Our legal team will explain all of that to you. We will have updates on Tory Lanez, Mr. Peterson, on how he's doing. It's really sad to see the situation that he's in. And we think it's time. Enough is enough. It's time to bring the brother home. So with that, I would like to bring up our lead consultant, Mr. Walter Roberts.
Good morning. We are here today to bring to your attention some information Unite the People believes is exculpatory in Mr. Daystar Peterson's case, professionally known as Tory Lanez. Recently, we've been made aware that a member of the media, Mr. Gianno Caldwell, is working on an op-ed for the New York Post regarding Mr. Peterson's innocence. During his work on that op-ed, he became aware of some information in Unite the People's possession regarding a statement that was given to Unite the People by someone with information relevant to that case. The New York Post recently reached out to the prior district attorney, George Gascon, Megan Pete and her representatives, and Kelsey Harris and her representatives. The only party that responded last week was Megan Pete's representatives with a request for more information. A few days later, Mr. Peterson's brutally attacked in his jail cell. Unite the People represents Daystar Peterson in his appellate process. We filed an appellate brief and a writ of habeas corpus on his behalf. The district attorney's office has already responded. The case is fully briefed. We're just waiting for the appellate court's decision. We were willing to wait for the appellate process to play out, but given that brutal, unprovoked attack, we felt it necessary to come here today to provide you with this information. It is our intention to make a request to the governor to either pardon or commute the sentence of Mr. Peterson, so that when he recovers from this attack, he's not returned to a jail cell, but that he's allowed to go home and recover. Not long ago, Unite the People was approached by a gentleman named Bradley James. Mr. James informed us he was working as the bodyguard and driver for Ms. Kelsey Harris during Mr. Peterson's trial. As such, he was in close proximity and he had privy to conversations she was having with her husband and others. Mr. Peterson I'm sorry, Mr. James informed us he was not under a non-disclosure agreement or a confidentiality agreement and was free to speak with Unite the People, and that he was doing it because his conscience would not let him not speak and leave a man in prison for something he did not do. Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was a witness to the conversation Ms. Harris had, where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times, Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that gun, never fired the gun. This statement aligns with the statement of the only non-party witness to the case, Mr. Sean Kelly, who at trial testified he saw 2 women fighting, 2 men break up the fight, 1 man grabbed the other one's arm. Gunshots came from the passenger side. Passenger side is where Ms. Harris was sitting.
Okay. I'm going to say this right here and right now. Listen, I've been on this app for 5 years. I'm not going to scream and yell. I'm not going to scream and yell for something I don't know. Not with this. Not when it comes to this. I'm just going to say this very calm and very politely. Where the fuck was this evidence where the trial happened? Where the fuck Jordan, right? All right, let me Okay, I'm back. So I'm gonna say this right here, right now. I really don't give a shit if people are angry for what I'm about to say. Where the fuck was this evidence on the trial, which happened a year and a half ago, almost 2 years? Where the fuck was this evidence during the trial? If I'm gonna tell you guys what really happened. Kelsey Harris, whoever the fuck this woman is, stopped paying her bodyguard for whatever reason, and the bodyguard said, "You know what? I'm just gonna expose it all. Fuck this shit." Because that's what really happened. Because that's what really happened. Because that's the truth. Kelsey Harris stopped paying that bodyguard the money, whatever money he wanted, and the guy was like, you know what, fuck all of y'all, I'm exposing. That's it. That's what really happened. So, but I get it. I get the play. But if an innocent man, there's a possibility that an innocent man is in jail, in his jail cell. And if that's the case, because now the bodyguard is saying Kelsey Harris, Megan Stallion's former best friend, because they're on bad terms now, was the woman that shot Megan Thee Stallion. If that's the case, blood work needs to be performed. And if Kelsey Harris was the person that shot Megan Thee Stallion, if Kelsey Harris is the person that shot Megan Thee Stallion, Kelsey Harris needs to be the person that should do the jail time. Troy Lane should be free. Simple as that. So let's continue. So let's continue with the video.
This further iterates that Mr. Peterson did not shoot Miss Pete, did not shoot at Miss Pete, or did not assault Miss Pete. It's just another irregularity in a list of irregularities in this case. For example, there were 3 potential suspects in the car that night, and yet the only DNA sample was taken of Mr. Peterson, even though unknown DNA was found on the gun. Why wasn't Miss Harris's DNA taken? Or was it taken and the information simply never given to the defense? Why wasn't the driver of the car, Mr. Jaquan Smith's DNA taken? Or was it taken and again, simply not given to the defense? We don't know. It should have been taken. It is Unite the People's understanding, regular LAPD practice at a crime scene like that. Anybody who's there, the DNA is taken. Another irregularity. Why, at Ms. Harris's police interview, was a non-lawyer, non-family member, record company executive allowed to participate? Highly irregular situation. Normally, we see cases, strangers are not allowed in these things, but it was in this case. All of these things point to the highly irregular nature of his trial and his conviction. It is our contention that he was wrongly convicted. And while we at first were willing to let the process play out, it is our contention now that if he is not pardoned or released promptly, he may never come out. And that would be the ultimate injustice, is that he gets killed in prison for something he did not do. At this time, I'd like to bring up Mr. Gianno Caldwell, the media member who was working on that op-ed for the New York Post. Thank you.
Thank you, Walter. Good morning. Thank you for coming today. My name is Gianno Caldwell. That is spelled Gianno, Caldwell, Caldwell. I am the founder of the Caldwell Institute for Public Safety at caldwellinstitute.org. I am also a member of the press for almost a decade now. I've been looking into Daystar Peterson's.
So, okay. Now, I can't say that Kelsey Harris did it. I can't say that. It's allegedly. But there's one thing I do agree with that lawyer from Trey Lane's a team. Why wasn't a DNA blood sample test performed? Why wasn't it performed during the trial? Why was Troy Lanez was the only person that took blood work? Shouldn't all the people who were involved should get blood work as well? Kelsey Harris, Megan Thee Stallion, Bradley James, Christina Walther. There were 5 people in that fucking car. All 5 people. It was a crime scene. They should have blood samples. Because when I went through many years ago with the Florida Department of Revenue, I had to take blood work and a DNA test through mouth swapper. I know. So in the state, in California, which is Los Angeles, California, why wasn't blood work was performed at that crime scene? And why was Troy Lanez the only person that took the blood sample? See, something just don't add up. Because, and I hate to look to all the Megan Thee, I rock with Megan Thee Stallion. I love her music, but I'm gonna have to agree with Troy Lanez's lawyer on this one. Alex Shapiro said it's an open and shut case. No, I'm going to have to side with Troy Lanez's lawyer. They have a case. That it's enough evidence to reopen the Megan Thee Stallion case and at least get blood work done. Whoever's blood work was on fingerprints was on the gun should serve the 10-year sentence. Rather if it's Troy Lanez, rather if it's Kelsey Harris. If it's Troy Lanez, okay, this was a waste of time. But if it's Kelsey Harris, then Kelsey needs to do the 10-year prison term. And not Troy Lanez. I have to side with Troy Lanez's lawyer on this situation.
A member of the press for almost a decade now. I've been looking into Daystar Peterson's case for almost 6 months now, professionally known as Tory Lanez. And after reviewing the evidence, the reporting, and the legal analysis, I've come to the conclusion that Tory Lanez was railroaded by the former district attorney, George Gascon. He was also wrongly convicted. I believe if Jesus Christ was Tory Lanez's attorney, George Gascon would do whatever in his power to ensure that Tory Lanez lost that case. Tory Lanez's defense team have alleged the withholding of exculpatory evidence, prosecutorial misconduct, among other issues that I was compelled to write an opinion piece for the New York Post. It is true that last week, the New York Post editors reached out to 3 parties, one being George Gascon, Megan Pete's team, and Kelsey Harris. It is also true that Megan's team was the only ones that responded back for that request for comment. I had some glaring questions, and that was the reason for this op-ed. Things didn't make any sense to me, many issues in this case, and I was shocked by the lack of interest from the media to ask very simple questions. There were multiple people with gunshot residue on their hands that night. Why didn't all individuals have the residue tested, their DNA tested on the weapon? That's a legitimate question. According to...
Where was all of this during the trial. We're doing this now after Troy Lanez got stabbed? Something don't fucking add up. Something don't add up. I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to drop the link. If anybody wants to come through, you're more than welcome to come through. Your boy will be right back. Yeah, but, you know, guys, something just don't add up. Something just don't add up. So, I'll be right back. I'm going to play some music for y'all. And your boy will be right back.
2 billion monthly users. YouTube Ads makes it easy to expand your reach, target the right audience, and turn viewers into customers. Let your business be seen with YouTube Ads.
Why you should watch Abbott Elementary on Hulu this holiday season. I've recommended Abbott Elementary on TikTok before, but I'll say it again, this is the perfect show to watch with your whole family. Abbott Elementary is one of my favorite shows on Hulu, and with the holidays right around the corner, it's the perfect time to watch this bingeable comedy. It's laugh out loud funny, but the kind of funny you can still watch with your nieces and nephews. Got 4 seasons available for streaming, which means you can watch it all holiday weekend. In other words, no arguing with your family over what to watch next. So be sure to stream Abbott Elementary on Hulu, and while you're there, check out all the other awesome shows Hulu has to offer.
All right, we back. All right, we back, y'all. Sorry about that. I had to take care of some things. So, about this case, the link is dropped for anybody that wants to come through. And yes, I had to go to the bathroom and take a shit. Sorry about that. But anyway, back to this case. And I did my research on it, and we have to reopen that case. I'm sorry. We have to reopen the Troy Lanez case. We have to. Because there's a possibility that an innocent man is behind bars. Now, I understand these New York rappers, these New York people don't believe in the no snitching. No snitching, lives by the code. But there are times where you just gotta fucking tell the truth. If you didn't pull the trigger, don't go to jail for nobody. Especially if those people are not going to be there for you in the next 10 or 15 years. I'm going to switch topics for a bit. I risked myself, even though I knew I wasn't the father of that woman's child. And this was 2015, 2016, 2017-ish. I put myself on child support of the Florida Department of Revenue. I didn't want those people taking advantage of my Social Security money. I didn't want those people taking advantage of my mother. I didn't want those people taking advantage of whatever money that my family's got in the Dominican Republic. And yeah, I did that shit on purpose. The minute my former friend, Sean, came to my therapist and allegedly told her at the time, and he allegedly told her that I owed them some money, and I found out that the money went to the woman to feed off her baby daughter, I put myself on child support to see if I was the father. I took the swap and I did some blood work. Yeah, the woman did say I'm not the father. They went back and they told me that she told them about the father, and they're going to do the blood work testing on him. So they didn't need my blood work or my swap anymore. And they told that woman, don't ever contact me again. Until this day, her friends and the people that's in my former network has not contacted me. I know for a fucking fact I did the right thing. Now, yes, it didn't have anything to do with the Troy Lanez case, but what I'm trying to tell y'all is, and telling y'all this for educational purposes, don't sacrifice your life for people that's not going to be there for you. And Troy Lanez need to know that. If he is innocent, and I'm not saying that he is, and I'm not saying that he's guilty either, so now we don't know. But if Troy Lanez is innocent, he should not lay down for nobody. Don't lay down for nobody, because you don't know what's going to happen in those next years. You don't know what's going to happen down the road. And what's crazy, this happened after he got stabbed from prison. Man, this shit is crazy. This shit is bananas. All right, so let's play this document and one more statement, and then we're going to end the live. Just let me get this.
I'm Andy Mack. Let's turn our attention to new developments involving Tory Lanez after a stabbing at a California prison. We do know the alleged attacker. More information here. This courtesy of TMZ, saying the guy who allegedly attacked and stabbed Tory Lanez in prison is serving a life sentence for a murder charge. And this wasn't his first violent incident behind bars. The alleged attacker was identified by authorities as 42-year-old Santino Cas. Second-degree murder and was previously convicted for an in-prison assault with a deadly weapon. So we're following the latest here on Live Now from Fox.
Some glaring questions. And
We saw two women fighting. Out to the prior district attorney, George Gascon.
Okay, we saw it already.
made confessing to a crime. I listened to that call. I'm sure many of you have as well. I didn't hear a confession. But what really shocked me about it is if my best friend was shot maliciously by someone just 2 to 3 hours before, I wouldn't have answered the call, or if I did, I wouldn't calmly have a conversation with the individual of it. And certainly I would ask, why did you shoot my friend? And more importantly, I would never have given you my current location out of fear of you finishing the job. That was something that stood out to me. I also, in my op-ed, discussed Kelsey Harris pleading the Fifth Amendment. She wasn't accused of anything by Megan Pete or the police, and to my knowledge, she wasn't under any investigation. So why plead the Fifth? What also shocked me is the prosecution gave her immunity. For what? What did she do? Is there an allegation of her doing something? I'm not aware of that. Maybe some of you can answer that question today. During the time of trial, George Gascon, just to take you back to where we were at that particular point, he had just barely won a recall attempt. He lost support in many key demographics of voters. Crime was up in Los Angeles County. Would have been a silver bullet for him potentially winning. His policies obviously were bad and people were harmed. So that didn't happen, and thank God it didn't happen. At the heart of this injustice is the misuse of gun enhancement charges, a sentencing tool intended for the Blaine's who regularly would drop enhancements or not recommend them, chose to provide enhancements to Tory, and in his case, in any given situation, according to legal analysts I've spoken with, he would do 1 to 3 years if he did it without the enhancement. That's interesting. Why did George Gascon choose to pursue these enhancements? You know, there's cases I've been looking through which George Gascon has pursued, many in which he utilized these enhancements. A couple come to mind that I would like to reference here. One, Raymond Danger Gonzalez, a Mexican mafia gang member involved in a premeditated murder of 2 young men in 2017. Despite the brutality of the crime, Gascon did recommend enhancements. You premeditated murdered a teenager and another individual. Brutal crime. Why would you recommend enhancements, but you would recommend them for Tory? That doesn't make a lot of sense. He also didn't pursue sentencing enhancements for the senseless murder of General Hospital actor Johnny Victor in Los Angeles in 2024. There's a lot of issues with this case. Many I think that the media should be pursuing all angles of it. We should not allow there to be unanswered questions. We should pursue open questions without fear or favor to anyone. That includes Mr. Tory Lanez. In his letter from the Birmingham jail, Dr. Martin Luther King wrote, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. If we take those words seriously, we must act when injustice is allowed to fester in plain sight." I found that
I said this earlier today, and I'm going to say this right now. Why didn't this evidence was presented during the trial. We're doing this after Troy Lanez got stabbed? The fuck? I'm sure more content creators are going to be covering this crazy ass story. I'm getting out of here, guys. This is shaking my head, man, in all fucking levels. This shit is crazy. I'm gonna end this song with the great Notorious B.I.G. Rest in peace. I know he's going through a trial that involves Diddy. I'm gonna talk about that on another day. If I do feel like talking about it, but we'll see. I'm gonna end the live, y'all. I'm gonna end this live with "Who Shot Ya" by the great Notorious B.I.G. This is your boy Carlos Cabral. I'll see you on the next live. I'm out.
All right, everybody, it's time not just to go back to. All right, everybody, it's time not just to go back to school, but to come back and move forward. Get live, motherfucker. As we proceed to give you what you need. Not motherfucker. Get live, motherfucker.
Turn the lights up. Turn the lights up. The beat is locked. Keep that mic up. Turn that shit the fuck up. What? Turn it louder. Who shot y'all? Separate the weak from the ops. Live hard to creep the Brooklyn streets. It's all, nigga. Fuck all that bickering beef. I can hear sweat trickling down your cheek. Your heartbeat sound like Sasquatch feet. Thundering, shaking the concrete. Then the shit stopped when I fall the plot. Neighbors call the cops and they heard mad shots. Saw me in the drop, 3 1/4. Slaughter, electrical tape around the water. Old school, new school, need to learn though. I burn, baby, burn like disco inferno. Burn slow like blunts with yayo. Feel more skins than Idaho potato. Niggas know the lyrical molesting is taking place. Fucking with B.I.G. and they say it. I make your skin shake. Rashes on the masses. Bumps and bruises. Blunts and Land Cruisers. Big Papa smash fools. Bash fools. Niggas mad because I know the cash rules. Everything around me, 2 Glock 9s. Any motherfucker whispering about mine. And Brooklyn's finest. Wildness. Bad boys behind me.
Get high,